Hello there, it's Andrew from Adaptive. In this video I'm going to give a very brief tour of Google Calendar, going through the basics of how you use Google Calendar and how you can use some of the features that it has to help you manage your ADHD. I'm going to be demonstrating in Google Chrome on my PC, but you can also do this on any other web browser or from your mobile phone. So first of all, I'm doing this demonstration on a desktop PC. You can do all of these things on your mobile app as well, and equally you can do all these tasks in Apple Calendar and in Outlook or any other digital calendar that you choose. So first of all, what I've done is logged onto my Google account. You can see I've got Gmail there, but to access the calendar you click on the waffle icon and you go into Calendar, and what I have here is an empty calendar ready to begin. So here is my empty calendar. I haven't used it yet, but you can see up here we have Guy Fawkes Day. So the 5th of November in the UK is Guy Fawkes Day. So Google has very kindly put that in as a preset event, such as Christmas and Easter will also be in there. But what we can do is to create our own events. So let's just kick things off by creating an event. So I've said that I'm meeting somebody called Brian for coffee. So what I've done first of all is put in the title of the event. Tip for this is keep it short and concise. You don't want to clutter your calendar with long descriptive titles. Next we need to say when it's happening. So here it's happening on Friday the 8th and we're meeting at 12 until 1. You can add guests, so if I add in Brian, or rather his email address, what that will do, it will add him to the invite and send him an invite, which he can then add to his calendar. It can be very useful to add a location to an event, particularly if you need to go somewhere. There's nothing worse than being in the wrong place, even if it's the right time. So this is going to be at Costa Coffee. I could leave it at that, but I'm actually going to go a bit further and put where it is in Morpeth. And you can see it actually looks up the address for you. So you could on your phone then use that to get a map and directions of how to get there. One final thing I'll show you on this screen is this bit here where it says it's got a colour. So this is the colour that it will appear in your calendar. Now not everybody uses these, but you can see you can set to be any colour you like. Now ADHD brains tend to like visual prompts and visual reminders. So what you can do is use these colours to signify certain things. So this event I've got to travel to Morpeth. So I'm going to say any event which needs travel is going to be red. And the other final thing which is critical is the notification or reminder. So what this will do by default is send me a reminder 30 minutes before I need to be there. So that will be a push notification on my phone, or it'll be a notification on my PC. But what I'm going to do is change that to an hour, because I need to get ready, I need to get changed, and I need to drive to Morpeth. So I need plenty of notice to be able to get there on time. So it's important that you think about what you need to do to prepare for that event in order to get a notification in time. Click on save. It's asking me if I want to send an email notification to my guests, so that will send a notification to Brian. And there you have it. I've got a red item in my calendar for meeting Brian for coffee at 12 o'clock at Costa Coffee. If you double click on it, it'll bring back all of the information that you put in. Okay, that's a simple event. So let's create another one. So this time I've arranged to call Jenny on Monday to talk about my coaching. She is interested in doing coaching with me and has contacted me by email. So I'll do the same again. I'll create a new event. Now she would like me to telephone her, so I'm just going to put call Jenny about coaching. This time I'm not going to add a guest because I don't know her email address. For the location, I'm actually going to do it from home, but I tend to like to put in something like phone. If it's a phone call, I'll put phone. If it's a Zoom meeting, I would put Zoom. And that just reminds me what type of meeting it is. I'm going to give this a different colour. So this one needs no travel, so I'm going to make that green. And I don't need a lot of notification about that one, so I'm going to put 30 minutes before. I think I need a little bit more of a reminder about what this one is about. So I know Brian, I meet him quite regularly, but this time I don't really know Jenny, so I don't want to get into a situation where on Monday morning I've got to make a phone call and I don't know what it's about. So you'll notice there's also a description here, which is a free field event box that lets you type in everything you like. So anything I need to know in advance for this, because I'll have forgotten by Monday, I'm going to put Jenny emailed me and would like to speak about training by phone. Her number is 0191 123 456. There we go. I could even add an attachment, so say I could attach the email or a document as well. But in this case, that's enough information for me to remember on Monday morning what it is I was going to speak to Jenny about. So I click on save, and there we have it. Oh dear, see my deliberate mistake. So we were meant to meet on Monday morning, but I forgot to put that in. So here it is on Tuesday the 5th, which is pretty much about now. But don't worry, if you do this, and it's very, very common to miss that, you double click and it opens up the event and you can edit it. So what I can actually do now is to change the time. And you can see up here, I've got options to do that. So it isn't on November the 5th, it's on Monday the 11th. I said I would do it at 1 o'clock. It's only half an hour. So I can change that to 1:30. And there we have it. So you can edit events as well if you change them. So it's not appeared on this screen because I'm on a weekly view. So if you want to get a wider view of what you are doing, you would change that view to a month. And here you can see I've got my 2 appointments alongside other predefined events which Google put in for me. One last thing that you might want to do is think about events which happen regularly, like a weekly coaching call or regular yoga, picking the kids up after school. So in that case, you don't want to be putting in 40 odd appointments just to remind you to pick the kids up from school every week. So you can actually create very easily an event which is reoccurring. So let's say pick kids up from school when do I do it? I'm going to start doing it on Monday. I need to go and pick them up at, let's say, 3 o'clock, and it will be 4 o'clock by the time I get back. So I haven't actually got any time when I could be working or doing other tasks. So this time I'm going to choose, this is going to repeat every weekday, and the location is, I could put school. This time I'm not going to put the actual school in, so you can just basically hit enter and it will just take the text that you type. Now this is a task which does need travel, so I'm going to put red tomato, and I think I need 15 minutes because it takes me quarter of an hour to get to the school. And that should create a series of events like that. So every day now I've got to pick the kids up from school. Let's say that Monday the 18th is a bank holiday. So what you can actually do is to remove tasks from a series individually. So on Monday the 18th it's a bank holiday, so I'm actually going to delete that one, and you can delete either this event or the whole lot. I don't want to delete them all because I'll have to put them in again, so I just want to delete this particular event like that. So I'm just going to finish with one last event. So we've already said Monday the 18th is a bank holiday, and we've removed pick up kids from school from our series there. So what I'm actually going to do is just create a task here, an appointment rather, that flags this as a bank holiday, so I know I don't need to get up. So I could click create, but I can also just double click in the box there and it takes you to the same screen. It's a bank holiday. This time it doesn't have a time, so because I clicked in the box it's defaulting to all day. So you'll see you either get the times or you don't get the times. If you click all day it will block out the entire day. I don't really need a notification for this one, but I could do with changing the colour. So I'm going to put them in as, I don't know, grey. Grey means I can stay in bed and have a lie-in. So I'm just going to type for description. You can have a lie-in, kids allowing. There you go. Click on save. And there we've got a new task. You can see the bank holiday in there and it's grey. Now one thing to note is, you see it's got a grey bar, whereas these have dots with the colour. This difference is the grey bar across the whole day basically signifies it's an all-day event, whereas the little dot means that it's a specific time. So these are all day holidays, whereas these are timed events which happen between certain times. So I hope you can see how the use of colour can help you plan out your calendar and visually see what it is you're doing. And then of course you've got all the detail in the appointment that tells you exactly what it is you're doing. So can anyone remember what I was doing on Monday with Jenny? Well, double click on it. Oh yes, that's right, she wanted to speak to me about training. So I hope that has helped you understand a little bit more about using digital calendars and some of the features that you can use to help you with your ADHD. I'll be producing more videos about tools you can use to help with your ADHD. So please let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. And if you've liked this video and want to see more, please remember to subscribe and turn on the notifications. Thanks for now. Bye bye.